Hello dear friends, welcome back in this video lecture. Dear friends, we have started the new topic, that is bioinorganic chemistry, and in that bioinorganic chemistry we have learned about the concepts of this topic, the meaning of some terms and some terminology as well as the functions of different metal ions in the biological processes. Our today's topic is communication roles for metals in biology. So different metal ions are used as a triggers or a messenger in different physiological as well as biological processes. Means we can say that they are acting as a magnetic compass. They are acting as a magnetic compass or triggers in doing specific cellular activities, specific cellular functions. Okay, and they also regulate the gene expression from one generation to another generation. Okay, so that's why these metal ions are said to be acting as magnetic compasses or triggers. Triggers means without the presence of these metal ions, the particular specific action or that activity cannot be initiated. That we known as trigger. So trigger is placed or trigger is present in the gun or revolver. Without pressing that trigger of that gun, the bullet from that gun is not shooted. So that's why this is the initiation of that physiological process. So that's why metal ions are acting as a triggers or magnetic compasses. Magnetic compasses in the sense they are used to navigate. They are used for the navigation purposes. To which direction the particular organism should move while moving or while transportation or in other cases. Okay, so this is the meaning of magnetic compasses. We know that magnetic compass has a magnetic needle is there, and that needle is indicating or it is orienting itself in the south and north direction. Okay, and it is orienting in the opposite direction to that of the earth magnetic field. Okay, so that's why this magnetic compass is used for the navigation purposes in the ocean, seas and in the forest. Okay, so that's why this is the role of different metal ions. The example, very famous example is there, and in the magnetotactic bacteria. In magnetotactic bacteria, these are the special type of bacteria. The name is given in the sense that they are using the iron, that is Fe3O4 molecules. Okay, which is known as magnetite. The Fe3O4 molecule is known as magnetite, and this magnetite is used as a compass to navigate. Means these magnetotactic bacteria are using this magnetite molecule, that is mineral having formula Fe3O4. Okay, and hence the name magnetotactic bacteria. They are using magnetite, this mineral of this iron. Okay, and which is used for the navigation purpose. So how they are using this magnetite for the navigation? For example, they are swimming in the water. Okay, and while swimming in the water, the dissolved oxygen is used by these bacteria for the respiration purposes. Okay, and the higher concentration of oxygen is toxic for such type of bacteria, and hence they try to avoid the area or the region where the concentration of the oxygen is less. They try to avoid the region where the oxygen concentration is more. And we know that in the sea or ocean, at the surface of water, the oxygen concentration is more, and hence these bacteria try to avoid the surface water. Okay, means they tend to move in the downward direction of the water, so that these Fe3O4 magnetite ore or magnetite mineral of the iron is used by these magnetotactic bacteria to move away from the surface water. Okay, that is to move in the downward direction. Okay, and when the concentration of oxygen is more, that is indicated by the these bacteria, and they move in the opposite direction. Okay, so that's why such a magnetic needle or magnetic factor is used by these bacteria, okay, due to the presence of Fe3O4, okay, magnetite. Then some bees or pigeons, and in human beings also, some activities are controlled by these metal ions, which are responsible for the navigation purposes. Okay, the second example is that sodium metal ions, that is Na plus, K plus and calcium 2 plus ions. Okay, so these ions are used for triggering cellular responses. Okay, so to initiate some cellular responses, to initiate some cellular actions, these sodium, potassium and calcium 2 plus ions are used. Then the next point is interactions of metal ions and nucleic acids. Interactions of metal ions and nucleic acids. So nucleic acids are basically of two types, DNA and RNA. So deoxyribose nucleic acid and ribose nucleic acids. These metal ions can bind to these nucleic acids, that is DNA and RNA, directly, and hence for stabilization of these nucleic acids, some metal ions are used. For example, magnesium 2 plus ions. So these divalent magnesium ions, they bind to these nucleic acids by electrostatic interactions with the phosphate group present in the nucleic acids. So the phosphate group is present in the nucleic acids, and with that phosphate group, electrostatic interactions takes place with these magnesium 2 plus ions, and hence the stabilization of that nucleic acid, that is either RNA or DNA, can be done. Then the next important property of these metal ions, or the function of these metal ions, is in transport and storage. So different metal ions help in transportation and storage of some things, some important biological fluids or biological important materials which are essential for the life processes. For example, in bacteria, the iron that is Fe, it is forming chelate with the low molecular weight compounds known as siderophores. So the siderophores are the acting as a ligand. Okay, so these siderophores molecules, they are forming a chelate complex, a coordinate complex with the center metal as a iron, and when the chelate is formed, that chelate is get entered into the bacterial cell. That chelate with the central iron metal and surrounding ligands are known as siderophores. These are able to enter into the bacterial cell, and hence once they get entered into the bacterial cell, iron ions, Fe ions, for example Fe2 plus ions, are get released in that bacterial cell, and the remaining ligands, so the breaking of that coordinate complex or that chelate is take place in the bacterial cell, and that siderophore ligands are excreted through the excretion process of that bacteria. Then in mammals, that is in mammalian organisms, the iron transport, Fe transport, is done by a serum protein known as transferrin. In mammals, such as the organisms which are able to give birth to the young ones, okay, they are known as mammals, and in such mammals the transferrin protein is used for the transport of iron. So such question may be asked, which protein has been used and which iron is responsible for the transferrin? Okay, so this iron transportation, for the iron transportation in mammals, the transferrin protein has been used. But the storage of that ions or Fe2 plus or Fe atoms is done with the help of ferritin protein. Okay, so there are two different proteins responsible for the transportation of iron and storage of iron. So transportation is done by transferrin and storage of iron is done by ferritin. Okay, then another element, that is copper. This copper transportation is done with the help of serum protein known as ceruloplasmin and albumin. So ceruloplasmin and albumin, these are the proteins responsible for the transportation of copper metal atoms or ions in the organisms. So this is all about the metal ion transportation and storage. Different metal ions are transported and stored in the different organisms by the use of different proteins. Okay, then the next point is metals which can be used as medicine. We know that when we heard about medicine, then organic chemistry plays a very important role in the use of medicines, use of these different organic molecules as a medicine. For example, paracetamol, then caffeine, etc. Okay, so all these are organic molecules and they are widely used as medicines. But nowadays research has been done on the different elements, different inorganic compounds, metal ions, different complexes which can be used as a medicine or drugs for the treatment of different types of diseases in the human being. And there are three very important drugs or medicines that have been used from last few years for the treatment of different types of diseases, and they are mainly coming from the inorganic chemistry. Okay, and these are cisplatin, Auranophine and Cardiolite. Okay, so what is this cisplatin? Cisplatin is nothing but an anti-cancer drug. So it is an anti-cancer drug. The structure of this is PTCl2 NH3 twice. Okay, it can be written as PT in bracket, it is a inorganic complex diamine NH3 twice Cl2. Okay, so diamine dichloroplatinate. So this is the inorganic complex or coordinate complex formed by the combination of central metal platinum and the two amine ligands and two chloro ligands. Okay, so this cisplatin, where the two chlorine ligands and two amine ligands are on the same side. Okay, so that's why it is called cisplatin. So this cisplatin drug is an anti-cancer drug which is administered by injection. So with the help of injection or through injection, we can administer this cisplatin drug for the treatment of ovarian and testicular cancers, or in some neck and shoulder knots can also be treated with the help of this cisplatin. Okay, so the structure can be asked or you have to ask for the identification of that cisplatin drug. Then what is the complex, which central metal atom ion is present? It is platinum. Okay, so such type of questions can be asked for your multiple choice questions examination. Then the second drug is known as Auranophine drug. This Auranophine drug is oral rheumatoid arthritis drug. It is administered orally and it is used for the treatment of arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis means the diseases or which is related to the joint pains or which is related to the bones, okay, or the skeletal system of the human being. It is known as rheumatoid arthritis, and for the treatment of this disease, this Auranophine drug is used. Okay, then the structure of this is a glucose derivative. Okay, a 6-membered ring with oxygen is nothing but a glucose derivative, and it is having at alpha carbon atom, at first carbon atom of this glucose ring, it is having sulfur atom, and to this sulfur aurum, that is gold metal, is present. Aurum, that is gold metal, is present, and to this gold metal atom triethylphosphine is get attached. Triethylphosphine is get attached. Okay, and on each carbon atom there is one methyl group, methyl, 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 methyl. Here is also methyl, as well as tetraacetate group is present. So one, this is first, this is second, this is third and fourth. Okay, so tetraacetate group, tetramethyl group, and one sulfur atom, one gold atom, and one triethylphosphine group. All these are present in a glucose derivative, and this is the structure of Auranophine drug. Okay, so why it is called as Auranophine? Because auro means gold metal is present in this structure, so that's why the name is given Auranophine, and it is oral rheumatoid arthritis drug. Then the last type of drug is called Cardiolite. This Cardiolite is an heart imaging substance, or it is heart imaging agent. Okay, so this is again a coordinate complex with technetium as a central metal atom. Tc, technetium central metal atom is there, and it is a there are 6 coordinate bonds present to the central technetium. So it is a octahedral type of molecule, octahedral type of coordinate complex is present, okay, with central metal technetium Tc, and to this technetium CNR groups are present on the all 3 bonds. Okay, sorry, all 6 coordinate bonds are coordinated to this CNR group. Okay, and so what is this C? C stands for carbon, N stands for nitrogen. So and this R stands for the group is there, and that group is CS2C dimethyl methoxy. Okay, so CS2C, CS3, CS3, OCS3. So this is the R group present in this cardiolite molecule. Okay, and this cardiolite, why it is called cardiolite? Cardia, it is related to heart, and this substance or this molecule is used for the heart imaging purpose. Okay, hence these 3 drugs, 3 medicines, cisplatin, Auranophine and Cardiolite, they are coming from the inorganic chemistry, and their role in the treatment of different diseases hence plays an important role. So that's why this is the topic known as metals in medicines. Why we are studying this? Because generally if we consider about the medicines, then all these medicines are coming from the mostly from the organic chemistry. These are organic molecules, but some inorganic compounds, some inorganic molecules are also have been synthesized, and they have research has been done on them, and they are widely used as an treatment for the different diseases. Okay, so that's why this is a important point of discussion in this bioinorganic chemistry. Okay, so in this lecture we have learned about different metal ions in the communication system of the organisms, then interactions of the different metal ions in the with nucleic acids such as DNA and RNA. Then the next point was transportation of these metal ions, which proteins have been used for the transportation and storage of these metal ions. And the last point was metal ions in the medicines or in biomedical applications of these metal ions. Okay, so this is all about the today's lecture. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.